If you have a creative streak or have ever thought about writing for the stage, then this might be just the opportunity for you. The Oakhill Players have just launched a brand new Playwright Competition as part of their popular Pint Sized Plays series, inviting people to submit an original short play of 10 minutes or less. So to find out more about the competition and how people can get involved, delighted to be joined by Veronica Keating from the Oakhill Players and Competition Committee member Faye Collins. Faye and Veronica, a very good morning to both of you.
Good morning, Alan.
Thanks very much for being with us. And Veronica, you've been with us before on the Oakhill Players. This is this a new venture, this Playwright Competition?
The competition is a new venture. As you know, anytime we've been on before, sometimes I've been on promoting the Pint Sized Plays. So they're plays that take place in a pub setting. That's where the pint size comes from.
And it's usually a few of them on each occasion, isn't
You might
it?
have 5, 6 on a night. You might have 3, depending. 10 minutes each, little gap in between. They can be about anything. So when they were originally set up, my sister, who's the chief cook and bottle washer in Oakhill Players with Faye, used English ones, obviously, because that's all that was available out there, because this is where all this started. And they used to have to modify them. Sometimes they used them as they were, but sometimes the humour maybe didn't translate as well, so they modified them.
You want more uniquely Irish productions,
so,
yeah.
They used to modify them. So I think they've been thinking over the last 2 years, wouldn't it be great if we had access to Irish ones that were uniquely Irish? So this has been fermenting away for a while, so they bit the bullet a few months back and said, will we just go ahead and do it? Will we launch a competition? So it is a competition for 10-minute pint-sized plays and all that entails. You know, the constraints that are on a pub setting, that's 10 minutes long, and they can be about absolutely anything. We were just saying, if you know, they say everybody has a book in them. Everybody probably has a 10-minute play in them. Or if you felt the need to, I can write something, I've got a story in me, but you're a bit daunted by the writing of a long story, 10 minutes can be done. And
this is something, Faye, I've spoken about, I think, with Veronica before when she's been in talking to us about the pint-sized plays, that, on that one side you can say, well, 10 minutes, that's grand. It's not like I'm having to come up with a 3-hour Godfather-style epic here. But also, because it's 10 minutes max, you kind of have to really have your thinking cap on, because you have to have a coherent, structured play that you maybe has a beginning, a middle and an end.
Absolutely.
And that people can get invested in all in 10 minutes or less.
Absolutely. As you said, it has to have a start, a middle and an end. You have to have characters people can, get
warm
behind.
to. And,
yeah, exactly. And all of that has to come from 10 minutes of showing people. And with the pint-sized plays, you're kind of dropping the audience in the middle of a story and just, carrying on from there and doing what you can with it. But it's such a good opportunity now for anyone that's ever thought of writing or, a creative individuals, and, it's dipping your toe in the space. And if something you've never been interested in either and think, what, I might throw my hat in the ring for this, it's a great opportunity. And as Veronica said as well, there is no limit to what you can do with this. Like the ones we've done before, there's been 2 cows in a milking parlour talking about the bull of the farm, and there's dogs. 10 minutes in that. There's 2 dogs.
That was really good.
2 very depressed poor dogs.
Depressed dogs.
It could be about absolutely anything. It can be funny, it can be dramatic, it can be sad. It's whatever you want it to be.
Okay, so Veronica, there's no limit in terms of whether you want to go with comedy, tragedy, drama, whatever it might be. The tone is completely up to whoever's writing it. But what will the judges be looking out for when reviewing the entries? What are some of the kind of key criteria? Or maybe you want to answer this, Faye, that maybe you're hoping applicants or entrants, what boxes you hope they will tick?
Absolutely. So, because it's a competition, we do have certain criteria and rules that people who are submitting have to follow.
Time limit being a key one.
Time limit being, it has to be 10 minutes or under. A lot of the pint-sized plays are under 10 minutes. You're limited to 3 actors. That can be more than 3 characters, but it has to be played by 3 actors. And minimal use of text and props, because it's, meant to, be able to be carried out in a pub setting where you don't have access to that stuff. And, you have to get creative with all that stuff as well. But those are the main 3 kind of points. And it's, I suppose it's 1 entry per person as well as another point. But yeah, I suppose the judges will be looking for story, for characters, and I suppose it's important to mention as well, anyone that's submitting, we have an opportunity to take part in a lovely writing workshop to help our playwrights in kind of fleshing out their story and, you know, getting a bit of feedback and taking it where it needs to go, which is also great.
Okay, yeah, that is a nice addition to it as well.
And actually, it is just about the playwriting, because we've actually had questions about this before. Some people were going, oh, but I couldn't act and I couldn't put it on the stage. It's absolutely nothing to do with that. So this is purely about the writing. And if you want to run off with your play after that and do whatever you like with it, that's fine. Or if you would like to see it maybe acted out, that can be all negotiated at a later date.
Okay, you would think though, if someone is successful in this, having written a play, they would want to see it.
Of course,
performed.
Naturally,
you would hope anyway.
Okay, look at who knows.
Who knows exactly? All sorts of people out there.
Yeah.
So look, the application process, submission process is open already. Faye, how long do people have, and you know, where do they apply, by email, or how is it all working?
Yeah, so right now our entry form is open for the competition. So you have until April 30th to submit the entry form. And again, you don't have to have your play written by April 30th. It's just the entry form. All we're looking for is name and contact info, and that's basically just submitting your interest for the competition. Don't need to have any draft or anything done at that stage. After April 30th, then we'll have our workshop followed shortly after that. And then the final draft will have to be submitted by May 30th. So there's a lot of time to get going, to get the pens going. You can find the email or the entry form on our Instagram, which is oakhill.players, on our Facebook, Oakhill Players, or if you don't have any social media or anything, you can email us at oakhillplayers26@gmail.com, and we can send on the entry form.
Okay, and I guess to finish, Veronica, an important thing maybe to point out to people is if you try to use ChatGPT to write this, it'll be very easily spotted.
Yes, it will. It's in the rules. It is very evident, and we've been testing it out. And it is extremely evident when ChatGPT is used. So be as original as
use
you
your
possibly
noodle, as
can.
they say.
Absolutely, absolutely. Any excuse to use the heads is good at this stage.
It definitely is. Keep that grey matter working. Okay, a really interesting idea, and be curious to see what kind of productions and entrants emerge from this. And I'm sure we'll touch base with you on that later on in the year. My thanks to both of you, Veronica Keating and Faye Collins from the Oakhill Players, and you have all the details there if you want to get writing.